All right, gentlemen. So what I want to show you here is that I want to show you how to do a couple things. One, to re-input your data, but also how to use MyFitnessPal on a daily basis. So there's a couple of things going on here, right? One, we want to click on My Profile, and then we want to click on Edit Profile. Once we click on Edit Profile, we want to scroll right down the bottom, and there's something called Goals, update your weight, nutrition, and fitness goals. We click on that little sucker, and then about fourth from the bottom, we're going to click on Calorie and Macronutrient Goals. So what we want to do in here is we first want to change our total calories. So let's say in this example, this guy target is, let's say 2,900 calories per day. Why not? So just make sure we click the little tick, and we make sure that the right calories have now gone in. So then we're going to click on any of these macronutrients, protein, carbohydrates, fat, it doesn't matter, click on them. And let's say based on that information that we put in before, our calculator, now what we're going to do is we want to make sure that our protein amounts and our fats amounts are set to the adequate percentage, or the right percentage. Now, you should also be able to click grams, but you would have to have a premium account. So unless you guys want to use a premium account, you're going to have to go on the percentage of, which will be fine for now. But it's up to you. I don't use a premium account. Most of you, why pay for it when you can do this? It's just a little bit more work. All right, so I want protein set at about 30%. And I want and fat set as well at about 35 to 40%, which means those two are your driving forces. Protein can be anywhere from 25 to 35, and your fats can be anywhere from 30 to 40. Cool. And then obviously, if you look at the bottom right hand corner, it says 105. So I take everything away from carbohydrates. So carbohydrates might end up with something like 30 to 40%, with proteins and fats making up the majority of those macronutrients. So you set it in there, and then you simply push the little tick smiley face thing again. Well, it's just a tick really, isn't it? Okay. And now you should have your new settings in here. Carbohydrates, protein 30, and fats 35%. Cool. Let's get out of that, and let's see how that looks when we put it into a day. So I've already added some food here, but let's go breakfast, and I'm going to add, quinoa, add. All right, so I've added a fair amount of food, so I actually need to get some rid of this, so I'll just delete a couple out so you guys know what's going on. But let's say I've eaten that today, right? So I've put in my food, and I've eaten 2,647 calories so far. My target for the day is 2,900. So I'm looking at this at like dinner time, and I put in all my food, and I'm like, crap, I'm still not there. My target's 2,900. I need to eat a little bit more. So I know I need roughly around about 250 calories. So you can click on the plus sign again, and in your favorites, right, you can simply find something that's around about 250, or when you put this in the search engine, and in the search just here where it says search for food, right, you can what you can do is when you find whatever you want, you just make sure the serving size fits around about 250 calories. So I hope that makes sense. So let's just say, for argument's sake, I am going to take a T-bone steak. Why not? Who doesn't like T-bone as a dessert, eh? Right. So that's taken me 2,847, and that's more than fine and dandy. That's perfect. So remember, it doesn't have to be bang on. It's not like you have to be 2,900. You might be a little bit less some days, a little bit more other days. It's really about hitting that consistency in the week. And the most important thing is, if you're in week 2, if you're trying to put on size, it's more than you ate in week 1. If you're trying to drop weight, i.e. body fat, it's less than you had in week 1. Each additional week either goes up or down, round about 100 to 200 calories at this point in time. Cool. Some of you guys might have, phones or whatever set up to exercise. Just ignore that. The only numbers you really need is your goal, right, where it says 2,900 in this case, or the scenario, and then your food, which is whatever you've consumed in the day. Super, super easy. All right. So hopefully you guys know how to put it in, you know how to track all of it, but I just want to show you a couple other cool little hacks. So you're going to turn the side on. So you turn your phone side on, and what you can see here is each meal and each, setting. So if it's lunch, breakfast setting, dinner setting, whatever it is, how many calories you've consumed, your carbohydrates, your proteins, your fats, your sodium, and your sugars. We don't really care about that. We're going to go straight to the bottom. That's all that matters for the day. I don't need you guys to look at individual meals. I don't need you to look at, how much you had for lunch or dinner. At the end of the day, it all boils down to how many calories and how much protein you had in that day. So let's say, based on your macro calculator, you need to hit 160 grams of protein per day, and your total calorie target is 2,900. So you simply look at this through the day, and you look at protein, and you scroll down to the bottom, and you can see the total there that says 196 by the totals. Right, and you know that you are now officially over 160 grams. You killed it. You've definitely hit your protein intake for the day, so you're good. Your calories are pretty much bang on as well. You've hit 2,847. So you're pretty damn happy with this, right? That is a good day. Your protein's been hit, your fat's been hit, and your total calories have been hit. Probably, in all honesty, fats is a little low. But you guys are starting to get the idea of how you match it up with your target versus your actual consumption for the day. So you can see the big thing there. In fact, really, if you're looking at your carb target was a little high, but we're going to let that slide for now. It's fine. The protein's the big one. I'd rather have you guys that, and fats is the next big one. And really, if you look at those numbers, so what line we're looking at here is totals versus goals. So just with the fat, the goal for the day was 115 grams of fat. You had, in this scenario, 78. In terms of the protein, the goal was 223. You hit 196. So I should actually say, when you've done those settings that I showed you to how to do, it's calculated for you. So instead of guessing, how much you could be consuming, when you put the calories in, you can use these goal numbers here to make sure that you're hitting it, or you can just compare it against knowing how many grams you have to eat. For example, say I had to eat 180 of grams of protein, and this is saying 150. I know I have to eat more. If it was in 220 as in terms of the goals, that's fine. It doesn't matter as long as you're actually getting the minimum requirements that you have to hit for the day. Okay, so that's pretty easy. Let's just get out of that, and we're going to click more down the bottom right hand corner again. And the other tab I want to show you guys is nutrition. So if you click on nutrition here, it gives you a weekly synopsis of what's happening. So within the week, from the 23rd of October to the 29th of October, I've had an average of 126 grams of protein per day, right? 196, sorry. My goal that I should be hitting is 212. So I know on average for the week, I need to eat more protein, slightly more. Carbohydrates, I need to eat slightly more, and fiber. Right, fiber is the other big one. So I'll just look at fats really quickly. So fats is definitely low. So I know I'm not hitting my fats there because it says that I've average is 78 and my goal is 117. But the other number I want you guys to look at is fiber. So third one down. And fiber, most of us should be hitting like 30 to 40 grams minimum of fiber in a day. So the big thing that I find, especially for guys, is we underconsume fiber. And if you guys remember from the video understanding how, nutrients are so damn important for energy and energy production and weight loss, they all tie together. So plants have a lot of phytonutrients, which is like this good shit that is good for us. They have a lot of vitamins and minerals, and they have a lot of fiber. So you need to be making sure that you hit your minimum fiber, because that's a massive fucking downfall for a lot of dudes. All right, so big things to be looking at. In a bit of a synopsis there is we're looking at the total calories that we consume in a day. We're looking at that we're hitting the minimum amount of protein, that we're hitting the minimum amount of fiber, 30 to 40 grams, and that most of our calories come from protein and fat, and the remainder is made up from carbohydrates. And we can look at that on a weekly basis and a daily basis, but what's really important is we're doing what we need to on a weekly basis overall. So you might have a shit day, you might have a good day, as long as it more or less balances out during the week, either going up or down based on your current goal. That is what's most important. Cool, guys. I hope that all makes sense. If you've got any questions, pop them in the frequently asked questions segment. on the Facebook page. Cheers.